Hello, my friends. Today is March the 6th, and this is a birth date reading for you if your birth date is March the 6th. So, this is a four-card poll for the year to follow, a general energy card, an energy that might sustain through the year, or something that might come in to chop it up and make you aware of it in reflection. And then there's a general challenge card, something that might challenge you this year. Then there is an action you can take to stay in balance, and an outcome or synopsis card. This is the general energy card for the year. It is the medallion. And what is the medallion about? The medallion is about, oftentimes we give and receive objects of value from someone else, or we send it to someone else. And often there's some kind of commitment that's required, but we don't necessarily always remember the commitments that we have made with our gifts, with our intentions, with our sacred objects. And sometimes we feel bound to be committed to things, committed to ideas, committed to gifts, committed to honoring something that doesn't really feel like in the present moment that it's the right thing to do, or that it still has the impact that it needs, or that it is still something that needs to be held sacred for whatever reason. So the medallion is always about looking at the rings of commitment that you have made, looking at the upholding of traditions possibly that you have made, looking at the honoring and respect of long-term commitments that you have made, and saying, have I broken those? Are they even working anymore? Do I feel entrapped by something that doesn't serve anymore? So it's all those questions about uh, commitments, and about holding on to traditions, and to honoring uh, rings of bindings, and commitments of time, and honor and space and dignity that shift. And um, that's just the way things are. Sometimes things shift. If they're true commitments, if they're true solid sacred things that you want to uphold, then you will do them, and you can do them with great, pride and trust and joy. But if it's something that no longer feels like it serves, no longer feels like it opens, but rather restricts and contracts in a very harmful and negative way, it has to be looked at. So this is your particular challenge, Three of Wands. Um, I see this, the Three of Wands, in some ways as a family traditions. Maybe this is a business tradition. Maybe this is an inspirational tradition. Maybe this is a family tradition. Maybe you've created something that has, you've put a lot of fire and willpower into it to create it, and you felt inspired to do it, and you have some kind of baby from it, some kind of, thing that's been created from, a lot of merging of inspirations to come down to one solid uh, spoke, one solid business, one solid enterprise, one solid family relationship. In a lot of ways, I think this talks about, uh, you know, holding on to traditions that are in the family, holding on to traditions that are in the society, holding on to traditions that are in the culture, or in the school, or in the church, or in even just within yourself, that holding on to traditions uh, sometimes feel like they're entrapments. And I think that's your challenge. You feel entrapped by, some kind of commitment to some kind of tradition, of holding on to some kind of, family heirloom, or family tradition, or holding on to some philosophies, particular dogmatic practices that no longer serve you, or but there's, on some level, there's a maybe it's just, a disappointment and a frustration. Maybe it's an aggravation and a resentment that seems to be coming up. So how do you proceed? How do you keep going forward? Do you honor this old tradition, or this commitment that says, I need to keep pushing forward through this? Or do you honor that maybe something has broken, and something has gone, and something uh, is entrapping that doesn't need to entrap anymore? So what is your action to take? Well, it is the bat. And the bat is all about birth and rebirth, hanging upside down, getting a different view on things. Hanging upside down, you're waiting in the birth canal. If you're a baby, you're hanging upside down. You're waiting in the birth canal to be brought from the safety of your womb into the light of the new day to see what is the next thing to take. So, maybe this is a time of retreat. It's a great time to go into yourself, a good time to go into your retreat, a good time to try to see things, to quiet your own mind, to quiet your own passion, to stop your push and let yourself just be upside down in the dark, in the night, in the birth canal, whatever it means to you, however you want to see it. You're waiting for some new kind of answer, a new kind of direction, but it takes you stopping and listening and looking out with new eyes, hanging upside down, seeing things from a different perspective. Get some other people's ideas, get some other uh, uh, things that calm you down and quiet. Go out in nature, shut off the noise, get away from the cement, shut off the cell phone. Uh, you know, listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. Listen to your highest sense of yourself, of what your inner self really wants to do. You're not going to find this outside of you. You're going to find this by saying, what are the commitments that I have, and are they serving me? And if they're a higher commitment and a sacred commitment, can I recommit to them? But what if it's a sacred commitment to myself that I need to make? And do I reconnect and do I recommit to my own sacred self and trust that in the process of becoming authentic and true to myself, do I become authentic and true to humanity? And do I give the ultimate and the biggest sense of myself to something that says, I need to do something different, and I don't need to be held down and held back by these other commitments that I've made? What rings of commitments do I have that no longer serve me? And in that unbinding from those rings, do you free yourself? Do you free your consciousness? Do you free yourself to soar above when a time when you were pushing to be, on land or on water? Maybe you just need to soar in the clouds with the birds. Maybe you just need to touch the highest aspects of yourself. Bats and birds here. You just came out of bat, you went into, owl and hawk and other birds of different lights and different sights. So your vision is asking to be expanded, and it's not. It can't be stuck by the medallions of bounds and boundaries and bonds that are often made through life. So it's a clearinghouse time. It's a retreat and clearing out and looking at what really serves you. What are the commitments that you really want to keep, and how can you be freer and truer to your highest, most authentic, sacred self, even if it means sometimes breaking down old traditions and not observing them in the way that you, quote, were supposed to or respected to do, but still honoring them in a way that feels right and true to you, but also allows you to have more authenticity and courage to journey and enlightenment of beliefs and empowerment of highest sacred self. Ahom Dakwasa.